Hey guys, what's up? Daniel here. Version 18 was just released, so you can download it in the shop now. As you see down here, it says version 18 and it comes with Operation Dawn, but don't worry, you have 3 days to download the update, so enough time for you to prepare for Operation Dawn and all the free stuffs that we are getting there and some new content. But let me show you what the update contains so far, what is accessible, quote unquote. So we have two new rangers. One is Cinder. We knew that from screenshots, but now we can exactly tell is it good or not. And I have to say, this Supreme Ranger might be an option to replace Refrax. And you know, Refrax is very strong. Refrax has 2% heal with cores, and you can scale this 2% up to 4% with 100% increased duration. And that's really, really good. But let me show you what this Ranger can do. So it has a damaging ability. I don't think the damage ability will be good because we knew from the past most Rangers don't deal that much damage. But look at this. Ranger skill effect skill. Each time Cinder erupts spreading flames, there's a 20% chance to generate a random energy core. And let me show you what these energy cores do. So this is damage plus 50%, and I think this is global, so it counts for everything. Plus 50% increased damage. Not final damage though, otherwise it would say final damage, but it's 50% increased damage. But this is the weakest in my opinion from all the cores that it could spawn. So we continue. Look at this. Gain a shield that absorbs damage to 5% of your fortress max HP, lasts 10 seconds. So there is a chance that you get an energy shield basically for free that lasts 10 seconds, and this could be very, very good against X5 stages. So every fifth stage contains a big boss. So example giving this stage 170, another stage that ends with a 5 or 0, this one. And you cannot hold back and stop and slow down those bosses. And we need as much defense as possible to buy us as much time as possible to kill the bosses. And that is what this ranger could actually be good for. The question is just, will it outperform Refrax? But I think my first impression is yes, it can. So this is the second core that could spawn. And then we have Ammo Core. Guardian enters charged state, lasts 10 seconds. So we have charged shot, I guess, for 10 seconds on Guardian for free. I mean, why not? I can see this being good in early stages. And when I say early, I mean up to stage 70, 80 when Guardian still plays a role. And Guardian still does above stage 70, 80 against bosses because it has good single target damage with penetrations and the reflection breakthrough card. What I mean by reflection breakthrough card, just to show it to you real quick before we continue with the other Guardian Ranger. This is the reflection breakthrough card. It makes the bullets bounce from top to bottom and up again, so every bullet hits 3 times. And if you combine this with, let's say, Mirror Guardian, then you have 2 Guardians, and the whole procedure is pretty much doubled. So this could be, yeah, decent early on, but we are not done yet. There is another special ability that this ranger has. If we open the exclusive cores, so there is one core, the bottom one, it activates at stage 15 in battle, 10% chance to spawn an evolution core. So pretty low chance, but look at this. Gain XP equal to 50% of the current in-battle level. Triggers only in normal and elite stages, maximum 5 times. Gain XP equal to 50% of the current in-battle level. So how I interpret this is, let's say you have, I don't know, you are in stage, let's say 19, and your XP bar is filled to 50%, or 20% filled, then you get 50% of those 20% extra. And 50% of 20% is plus 10% XP extra. So this is what it might means. Not entirely sure. Gain XP equal to 50% of the current in battle level. So current in battle level. I guess that's it. Not entirely sure. And all these effects from the evolution course get a 100% increased buff, like the refrax heal with 100% increased duration. This energy core increases the effect of all evolution cores by 100%, so it's pretty much doubled. So this one is not 50% anymore, it's 100%. And let's say the Fury core, the damage gets increased to 100%, and Guardian core, the energy shield gets from 5% gets increased to 10%. And then we have a chain skill here. If you place Fire Wheel, this chain here gets activated, this chain skill. Okay, so that's it for Cinders so far. It will be interesting, of course, how frequently do those cores proc and get activated each time Cinder erupts, spreading flames. Each time. It has a 12 seconds cooldown. It lasts 10 seconds, so every 22 seconds there's a chance that one of those cores spawn. The question also is, a random energy core, can it maybe spawn more than one core at once? Guys, we just have to try this. We have to experiment and work it out as a community. Let's continue with the other ranger. It's Void. It's tied to Disruption Drone. Disruption Drone is pretty good defensively. So usually you play 3 DPS turrets and 1 defensive turret, except if you have super fast and dangerous enemies and you play 2 defensive turrets, or even more. But let's say you place Disruption Drone, then this ranger here comes in handy. Let's go through its skills. Fires 8 annihilation waves, each dealing 800% AoE damage. Question is, how large are those AoE waves? So how much of the screen is covered? Then we have annihilation wave has a 10% chance to apply disruption when dealing damage. So this one applies disruption. Interesting. It's good to have because it reduces the damage taken. And reduced damage taken is good if you have an elite sitting at your base that is chewing down your HP. So it can stack up to 3 times, so that's 30% less damage taken. So it's not useless, to say the least. And then we have the chain skill together with Disruption Drone when it's placed. While Disruption Drone is active, every 4 annihilation waves launches a dark annihilation waves, knocking back enemies and dealing 150% increased area damage. So this is interesting. We have a knockback here. The question is, how intense is this knockback? If it's just a little knockback, like the Guardian knockback, well, forget it. But if it's a strong knockback, it could be useful. Let's go through the exclusive cores. So annihilation wave with plus 50%. So the size of the wave gets increased here. Then we have annihilation wave counts plus 8. And now it gets interesting. So number 12 reads, when annihilation waves hits enemies affected by disruption, it has a 20% chance to trigger an explosion, dealing 800% area damage. So I'm not a fan of ranger damage. As you have might figured out, ranger damage is pretty bad, but this one could be good. So number 15 reads annihilation wave, dealing damage to enemies affected by disruption, has a 30% chance to deal additional damage equal to 1% of max HP. Max damage equals 20,000 times ranger 80k. So this is a max HP core. Most max HP functions in the game are bad, but this could be good. This could be good. depends on how often and frequently it gets triggered. Because if you calculate 20,000 Ranger ATK times the Ranger times 20,000, so usually your Ranger has ATK somewhere between 15 and 25,000. So let's say 20,000 on average. Then you get 400 billion damage per proc on one enemy. And it can crit. And if it crits, it gets even higher. So this is questionable with a question mark. I'm not saying that this is good. I know what you think. You think probably like me, the first thing that comes to mind is Siren or Life Erosion from Thunderbolt. They have similar values and they are pretty bad in normal and elite. But I won't rule this out now. It could be good, and as long as we don't know if it might be good, we can't say, oh, it's bad, trash. I mean, yes, it most likely is trash. I get you. But I won't say it now. We have to try it out. If someone gets the score for some reason, it's pretty random, then let us know. So these are the two new Rangers. And then we have two new Fortress frames. Two new Fortress frames, already shown here in the back, are Flowbind Hexa, and the other one reads Lure Deceit. And Flowbind Hexa launches a gravity cage above the fortress, pulling enemies toward the center, cooldown 40 seconds. So this is a little bit like a converging field on Disruption Drone, which pulls enemies to center. So on Disruption Drone, you might know it from Arc, we have this breakthrough card, converging field, Disruption Drone, damage 100%, pulls enemies towards the center. So this is a center pull. Interesting. Could be useful in some cases. Let me check something. Unlock. I would like to know how this scales. So, whoop, wrong fortress frame. I would like to know how this scales. Is the cooldown reduced for every star that you upgrade this fortress frame? Is the pull effect increased? So how does it increase? To find this out, to figure this out, we have to unlock it at least once, and then we can know how it scales. Let's take a look at the other fortress frame. Lure Deceit generates a guidance shield above the fortress for 10 seconds, blocking 2 hits. So let me say this. If these 2 hits here scale upwards to, let's say, the next star is 4 hits, then we have 6 hits, then we have 8 hits, etc., then this could be really, really good. Because it basically gives you damage immunities. And, you know, if the elites reach your fortress and you have no more damage immunities left or whatever, or let's say the big bosses that hit you for 5,000 HP damage, 10,000, in some cases it's above 40,000 per hit, you can block those hits. And that's very, very valuable because it's going to buy you a lot of time depending on the attack speed of the elites or the big bosses. The question is, if we want to take this fortress frame in, which one do we take out? So what I usually play is I play Bloom for heal procs, I play Aegis for energy shield. Just thinking, together with the Ranger, the new Ranger that could proc energy. That's just speculation. So let's say you play these two, and the middle one is usually knockback. The reason I have this one attached here is because this is the setup for raid. So knockback. I mean, we could get rid of energy shield, and instead of energy shield, we use the Lure Deceit. And you might say, oh, but we lose energy shield. Yes, we do lose energy shield. But how much damage can the energy shield actually absorb if the boss hits you for 20,000 damage? Maybe 2 hits? And this fortress frame here alone can take 2 hits on 1 star every 40 seconds, and Aegis energy shield procs once every 60 seconds. Do you see the advantage here? Yes, if you have a bunch of small enemies, those 2 blocked hits get absorbed super fast. I get that. But you have to imagine at the end of the stage, at some point in the game, you will get to the point, that it's not about the small enemies anymore. Except if you play versus Rift Walkers that you cannot hold back. Then it's all about the boss fight and buying yourself time against the boss. And then this becomes very valuable. I say this is a T1 shield here, right away. Without testing it, without knowing how it scales, this alone, blocking 2 hits, is very valuable. It's just for 10 seconds, okay, but if the boss sits at your base, this is going to be, this will come in handy. Oh, actually, wait, just a second. So let's say, just for the sake of this, of analyzing this frame, it blocks 100 hits or 1,000 hits. It doesn't matter when it's just 10 seconds, right? So if the 10-second period goes away, you don't have any more. I say it's still good. It's still good. It opens another RNG fiesta, because let's say you fight the fish boss that swims back and forth. It has to proc at the right time. You might take Aegis in that case, but in most cases, when the boss sits at your base and smacks it, then this one will pretty much apply always. Good to know, good to know. So guys, there's also patch notes. I will go over the patch notes in a separate video. If you have questions, let me know. And yeah, see you in the next video.